At first, I just had a lot of fears. There were so many reasons I could think of why it probably wasn't a good idea for us, and I just kind of went through those one at a time. I told him I'd pray about it and think about it, but I think in the back of my mind at first I was thinking, this is not for us.
Well, ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to do that. My parents would watch documentaries about orphanages in like China and Russia, and so like that was something that started really young for me.
I don't know, God just put it on our heart. It's hard to explain exactly how that works, but it just always was there. We always knew that that's the way we wanted to grow our family.
And it's just something that I always thought that I would do in the future, but then as a single mom, it's like I can't really do this because I'm single, and then found out that I could.
Adoption is just another way to create a family, and it's not second best, it's first best. It's awesome. My girls, geez, they're like my whole life. I felt God put in my heart. I felt like all the doors opened, and I felt like I stepped through, and every time I stepped through, it was almost like the door went shut behind me. I'm like, it was that affirmation that I did it right at the right time, because if I had waited for 2 more days or whatever the case would have been, that it wouldn't have come together like it did, but it came together just as God wanted it to happen every step of the way, and it was just kind of cool to watch.
With our first adoption, when we went to China, it was definitely scary. It was a chaotic series of events, but the orphanage director and her crew came to our hotel room, and they walked in with Ella.
She was 15 months old, and they handed her to me, and she just kind of looked at me for a little bit, and then she put her head on my shoulder, and the people in the room were just astonished by that, because that does not happen. She just, you know, like basically was relaxed in my arms, and that was definitely a God thing. I felt like God was saying, okay, this is gonna be okay.
So we ended up having to go not knowing if we would be coming home with a child. And at the time, we didn't think that there was a child available for us to adopt. We knew that there was a possibility, but basically our agency said, you just need to go. And the way it all worked out, it was just very clear that Aviva was meant to be ours, because if things had worked out in our timeline, she would not have been adoptable at that point. But because of the way things unfolded, she was the only child that was available to us, and it was because of special circumstances that made that happen.
We have what I call the ultimate blended family. We each have a child from a previous marriage. We have 3 daughters that we adopted through foster care. We have 1 daughter who was with us in foster care. She was adopted by someone else, but came back when she was 15. We have 2 girls together, and a son who we adopted from Guatemala.
And these children that are in foster care, they didn't choose to be there. You know, it's not their fault. You know, a lot of people will say, why are they acting that way? They should be thankful to you for being in their life. It's kind of the other way around. You don't go into foster care, you don't go into adoption to meet somebody else's needs. You're kind of going in there because God's putting that burden on your heart.
In the church, we like to talk about that adoption is a beautiful thing, which it is, but it's beautiful in the way that so many things are that come from God, because they begin in brokenness, and He brings the beauty out of them. And that's something that I didn't really understand going into it.
Seeing God shine through brokenness from my daughter, brokenness from my family, my wife, myself, and watching God take all those broken pieces and turn it into something that I couldn't have dreamed it being before. His design, His purpose, His end is far superior than that of my own thoughts or dreams. It has been a wonderful, challenging, heartbreaking, painful journey that I wouldn't trade for anything.
When you bring a child into your house, you're not just changing how he views things or she views things. You're not changing how you're viewing, but you're also changing generations.
There are tons of kids in this world that need homes, that need families, and if you've ever even felt a small tug on your heart towards adoption or foster care, I would encourage you to look into it and just step out in faith.